right. Let's go. It's ORRION online. That's Orion online. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And we're here for another round of Homeboy Talk. Let's make some moves with my homeboy.
What's going on, people? My name is Deon Donovan, creator at Title Page Comics. Let's get this new episode, Homeboy Talk. Here's taking it to the next level. So, you remember you mentioned holograms at a concert. What if you can make that a household experience where they had the technology to present the holograms in your own home? So you have Mario, and they already have the pre-recorded, voice acting for him, and you're interacting with Mario in your house, either with a visor, how PlayStation 3D, PlayStation VR works, or they're like some kind of visor helmet, or whatever, where you take that experience now, where you have the AI so advanced, you can make it interactive and real as possible, and you're interacting with freaking Mario in your living room, and he's running around your fucking house, you know what I'm saying, or some shit like that. Or even if it's just pre-recorded. People will pay for a pre-recorded experience, or like we have with Pokemon Go on the phone. You could take a picture and the Pokemon will be in the frame of your phone, and you stand right next to it, and it looks like the Pokemon's right next to you. The Harry Potter game kind of does that a little bit, where it's kind of cool, dude. You unlock certain items, and then a door. You have the camera, and it shows what it's just normal camera, and then a door appears, and you have to walk through the door. You walk through the door in the phone. It's like you enter the virtual world, the magical world, and then you move the phone around, and it's all computer graphics. So you enter literally like the dungeon or whatever, and it's no longer, the camera is no longer showing what's around you. It's showing that environment that you entered in the Harry Potter game. Imagine just taking that experience in your household, where you have Michael Jackson performing right next to you in your living room, but it's it's pre-recorded, but you don't care. It's freaking Michael Jackson right in front of you. You're dancing, whatever. You can record yourself dancing with Michael Jackson just virtually, or singing raps with Tupac, or it's just virtually. But that's just that potentially could be the next step, man.
That is the next level. It is going to be the next level. In fact, I don't put it past anybody. It could be the next level. Holograms existing in your room. I mean, because our smartphones are already existing with projections. Yeah. So it won't be too long until holograms exist, where you pull up your phone and the same camera that's on your phone pulls up a hologram screen. And like I said, you could pay for it. Whether you'll have a Michael Jackson concert in your household, you can have a Tupac concert in your household. All the people that passed away, or all the people that you fantasize about, could be in your living room, stuff like that. The fact of the matter is, there's so many ideas like VR. Like, I know it's still something new, but Oculus is still coming out with the hits and stuff. PlayStation is looking at doing another VR. Right now, they're not in a rush, but if they did, I mean, there's so many ideas that I can go off the bat. They already have Iron Man flight, like something like a simulator experience, stuff like that. Imagine a Ghostbuster experience, stuff like that, where you take like a PlayStation Move as a wand and stuff like that, and you're capturing ghosts that way, in your own house, And I mean, like I said, there's a good and bad to virtual reality and augmented reality. I mean, because like you said, VTuber girls and stuff like that, they've already ended the gap of human interaction. You really don't need to go out, Like, I could go ahead and go dark with it and stuff like that. It says, you got a VTuber girl that you pour money into, and if you're missing that, like the human interaction, the motherfucker buys a damn sex doll, and he don't need to worry about any humans at all. He's happy. He's set for the rest of his life indoors. You don't have to worry about rejection. Don't have to worry about nonsense. Don't worry about heartbreak, stuff like that. Because you got everything at the comfort of your bedroom. No human interaction alone. And it's a scary thing, because video game is already addiction alone. China, in China and stuff like that, there's rehabs for addiction to video games. So I mean, if it's almost like you can kind of look at the pathway of what could happen here in America by just looking at what's going on in Asian cultures, stuff like that, because of video game addiction, the fact that in Japan, still, probably during the pandemic it's changed, but still, sex is still at its lowest. Nobody's really doing any human interaction. And now you got like Japanese girls like, where the fuck are the foreigners? If these Japanese guys ain't fucking me, I'm gonna fuck with a foreigner, you know? Yeah, I mean that's what's going on. This is what this is what's changing our dynamics of the world right now. Like this is crazy, but I mean, dude, like it's a scary thought. It's a lot to be scared of, but at the same time, there's some things to be excited about. I try not to look at the scary parts because I already know that it's going to happen, but I try not to pay attention because I'm looking at, in my business mindset, like if I had to be a manager for a VTuber girl and stuff like that, I'm like, oh man, let's milk the fuck out of it. Let's puppeteer this virtual character and make it every weeb's fantasy, like make it straight interactive. Fuck it, make it OnlyFans. And I mean, Project Melody pretty much made the blueprint from being a VTuber girl to now being a VTuber, VR porn star. It's the fact of the matter is like, I went on YouTube and there is this is crazy. The fact that there is VR, there's a VR experience where there is actually a virtual girl who's doing ASMR, and you have a headset and you're in this like anime type virtual room, and she's like, it's almost like a virtual girlfriend where she's laid up on your shoulder and whispering in your ear. That interaction alone exists. VR. If you type in VR 360 and that shit exists, you've got this one girl who's got like a VR camera and stuff like that, and she's shopping around, and you can actually look around, and she's like this big titty Asian girl and stuff like that. And I'm like, I can't believe this shit exists. Like virtual reality has, you can be in, like, if you're one of the people that's convinced of your surroundings and already like morph it into it's real to you, you can be stuck in that world. You can really be stuck where like you're cuddling with a V girl, or the fact man is like there's VR porn. You could pretend like you're fucking a girl. You could be stuck in that world where you might not get out.
Bro, we got all this technology, and the best we can do with it is put some big titty anime chicks on there, and pornography is like, where's the experience where you could put on the VR and be like, I'm in World War II. I'm in a battleground. I can experience real life historical events. You know what I'm saying? Where you can be in the theater where Abraham Lincoln was shot. You know what I'm saying? Or you can be at the protests in the 60s. Or you can be in Pearl Harbor when you're getting bombed by the Japanese, like, or whatever. You feudal Japan, or whatever. You could storm Notre Dame, or whatever, man. There's so many historical things you can do, or cool things you can do with this stuff. And I mean, it's kind of sad the fact that you're only looking at it through pornography and titties and shit like that. It's really like, damn, like they have this whole potential for something else as well for people who are not into that. But most of the money and most of the efforts going towards getting simp bucks, and monetizing the simps. But I mean, here's the thing too. Also, I mean, if you can kind of keep a secret, it's an equalizer for dudes. Dudes are upset like, oh, old girl needs to be as pretty and good looking. She'll get more likes than me. She'll get more followers than me. People will pay more attention just based on physical beauty. I got to work 3-5 times hard and bring something of value to the table to get just even a quarter of that. You got this virtual shit. You could pose as a girl. And you already know what the guys want and the dudes want. I mean, if it don't creep yourself out, but you could pretend to be. They already do it in video games with these MMOs and shit. You could have a guy, if he can keep his identity secret enough to nobody knows it's a dude that's actually behind your favorite virtual e-girl, he can monetize it. He could be like, all right, I'm cashing in now. Shit, I don't need to be. I can cash in just like you ladies. Get some big-ass titty anime chick made up and voice that shit. And I know exactly what the dudes want. I'm making money off of guys now.
I mean, there's good and bad in a lot of things. There's a lot to gain from the VR world because I heard some good stories from VR. Like you got people who take a VR camera and go around Disney World because people are not able to go to Disney World. Oh, okay. So there's a VR 360 camera to go take you around the magical kingdom. or Universal Studios. You also got a VR where this girl, it's a sad story, but I'll share it with you. But I guess her daughter passed away, and she was not able to have a good farewell. And in order to cope that she's not gone, she enters this VR world to see her daughter in VR form. Yeah, so it helps her cope, even though her daughter is gone. She still tried to keep her memory alive by watching her in VR. But it's one of those it's one of those tear jerking feelings, stuff like that. There's good in VR and there's bad in VR, but like it's gonna be one of those things. Like I said, man, if this is gonna be the new social norm where people are indoors and just living vicariously by others and stuff like that, I'm the kind of person that's against living vicariously through other people and stuff like that. It's like I'd rather go experience it myself. As a manager of about about 3 streamers and stuff like that, and trying to help them out and stuff like that, I quickly got out of that world because I see no gain out of it. And and it's evident that a girl, once they feel confident in themselves and they start seeing donations pouring in and stuff like that, they can do without the weaknesses and stuff like that. So they're more like, all right, how can I cut out the weakest link and stuff like that? And every time I'm always the one that's actually helping somebody grow. And then I'm like, all right, well, you think you're bigger than me. Cool. It is what it is, So, you got streamers that do that and stuff, but other than that, if you have a little controlled environment where, it's like, what? A girl who probably isn't that pretty, but it's got the great anime voice, stuff like that, you can sit here and say, listen, I have a money-making opportunity for you. I have a software that I can make a virtual girl. All you got to do is voice her and be the puppeteer.
It's an equalizer. I mean, it's almost even level playing field now, where you could be anyone and you can get in on this monetization of body and women. So, like we said, we're in this virtual world where I've seen basically virtual tours of zoos, but you got to pay. Yeah. You got to pay money to take a virtual tour of the zoo. And the camera person's like, okay, well, this is our anaconda. It comes from South Africa. And it's like, okay, cool, but damn, I'd rather be there. Why I got to pay $20 for this virtual tour of the zoo or the aquarium? Animal Crossing, San Diego Comic-Con was canceled, and someone recreated San Diego Comic-Con in Animal Crossing, where you can go there and they had the Comic-Con logo as best they could. And, okay, here's your panels here, here's room there, and here's, Hall B here. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, we can go to San Diego Comic-Con through Animal Crossing. And we're seeing how these things are being virtually replicated, where physical locations are now being virtually replicated to help cope with not actually being there. And then it'll get to the point where you'll be like, you know what? I don't need to physically go to the zoo. I'll just watch it on my computer or watch it on my TV screen. So, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. I can interact with whoever I want with the press of a button. I can have Prince playing the guitar right next to me virtually, or like, human interaction. I don't need a man. I got my man right here. I got my man right here. I got Tyrone right here, and he takes care of me. Like, I mean, it's mostly for men. I don't know. Women have a shortage of men to choose from, but that technology is out there, and it is uncharted territory. And I think we should be, I know, sounding like an old head, I think we should be careful going into this uncharted territory, because who the fuck said that it was okay for Prince to be replicated in 3D? Mm-hmm. Did Tupac give his permission to say, hey, you guys can still make money off me virtually by using my voice and my likeness? No. Did, you know what I'm saying? And then this kind of extends, this came from a little bit from Hollywood, where they're recreating, actors and actresses that passed away, and they're digitally inserting them in new films like Star Wars, Rogue One, and a couple other movies where actors, moved on, and they are now replicating them digitally and putting them in the films, and then having, good voice acting to make up for the fact that, oh shit, this is General Tarkin. That actor passed away like 20 years ago, but here he is, and he looks pretty good. He looks realistic. who gave the permission? I know some loved ones will say, yeah, go ahead. But personally, it is a little bit eerie how you can dig in the grave a little bit and make some money off your legacy without your permission, without your direct permission, unless we just have to start putting down wills. I hereby give 𝐏𝐿 company to include my likeness in virtual programs as long as profits go towards my family. Right. Son, daughter, whatever. We're going to have to start including that in our wills and all this other shit with licensing.
But check this out. I mean, Hollywood already, like, there's two topics, and we could wrap things up after that, but just two more topics I want to add to it. The fact of the matter is Hollywood is already scanning faces. And, I mean, we saw Fast and Furious, Paul Walker passing away. His likeness was scanned over his brother's. And, well, his likeness was scanned to be pasted over his brothers, you know, that kind of play as him. So Paul Walker could be in the movie and stuff, you know. The fact of the matter is like we're able to bring back life to dead in virtual form, you know. It's augmenting our reality and stuff. That is going to be the new normal. And the fact of the matter is like it's almost that controversial topic that was going on is, well, what's going to happen with Black Panther 2, you know? And you're talking about like, well, if Disney wants to sit here and play it and uncharted that territory, they could scan his likeness into Black Panther 2 as into a cameo or being part of the a little scene and stuff, you know. So that could actually happen and stuff, you know. It's one of those things. Is like, you know, you're in uncharted territory, and then a part of this whole VR world and stuff like that, you know, with virtual experience and stuff like that. The second topic that I want to talk about was PlayStation, and a couple of games are out there has actually charted that territory, that virtual experience. There's games like Second Life that took place, and people who are not familiar, but if you had a PlayStation 3, there was an app called PlayStation Home. Yeah. And I was actually an avid user of PlayStation Home because the fact, like, to be immersed, it's easy to get immersed into that world and get lost. To be an avatar, it's almost like Ready Player One. Right. PlayStation was almost pioneering that. The fact of the matter is that you mentioned that, you know, there was like an E3 replicated in Animal Crossing. PlayStation did it first. They actually took their whole floor plan and put it in PlayStation Home. So you can go out there and explore and go to every kiosk they had and watch a trailer of that game that's on that kiosk. Wow. So PlayStation thought about it first. Wow. So if you're talking about like the end of E3 and stuff like that, and PlayStation is moving on and doing their own thing, PlayStation can easily go out there and says, you know what, if you're a VR headset owner, we can give you a virtual tour of how our kiosk, our own experience is going to be like in your area.
Now here's the thing with that. Take it to the next level. How much would you be willing to pay if you have a VR experience of E3 2001? If E3 2002, other events can be replicated to the VR technology where you can live in the past. You can go back in the past and experience things you never experienced virtually. You know what I'm saying? So now, not only is it a person you can replicate, not only is a place you can replicate, but you can now replicate memories. You can replicate things that you missed. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be Michael Jordan's game-winning shot at the Bulls game, or you know, Babe Ruth beating the freaking Red Sox back in the 1920s or whatever, or you know, just great when Obama got elected and kids weren't born back then. You can put on the VR set and you're like, oh shit, I'm actually here in DC and I see him up on stage. Like moments like that where now can be replicated virtually. How dope would it be if you could replicate E3 2001 and you can actually go to the gaming stations and play the demos that were actually there back in 2001? I mean, how much is that worth to you? Is it $40, $50, $100 to relive some of your childhood, to relive some of those experiences? I mean, this is again, a catalog of, this is a catalog of events. And then it's like, then it becomes like, well, only this company provides these events and only this company provides those events. And this event is only licensed by Disney. You know what I'm saying? So then it goes even further. Like, damn, I got to go to different companies for different events, virtual events I can live vicariously through again. So, dude, I mean, this whole virtual reality thing is really, again, I hate to say, you know, I keep saying Ready Player One, but it's getting to that Ready Player One mentality of, and that Black Mirror reality where a lot of this shit is fictional, like Star Trek. A lot of shit was fictional. It's becoming nonfiction. It's becoming real. It's becoming really ingrained in our culture. And don't be surprised, 20, 30, 50 years from now, people look at Black Mirror episodes like, that shit's way outdated. We're so far ahead, you know? Yeah, dude, it's really uncharted territory, man, and it's kind of scary and it's kind of spooky. Some of the stuff I'm like, I might pay $50 to relive E3 2001 or 2002.
What if we preserve history exactly how you said? Everything in history. I mean everything, because the way that gaming has changed all of the dynamics. I just saw what 2K21 looked like, and the new character models is crazy. We're looking at Steve Curry, like compared to PS4 model now to PS5 model. We're looking at almost close to TV quality entertainment, photorealism. We're talking about, like, you know, I used to have this joke about, like, you know, how Japanese people will, like, you know, have different creation models for black people, and it's always limited to afro and cornrows and stuff like that, and they never really get the black hairstyle correctly and stuff like that. Whereas you have like American companies like, you know, 2K, who's able to really do a character model right, you know, and you know, you're seeing the I'm not trying to be racist and stuff like that, but so you're seeing the naps of black people's hair and stuff like that done authentically, you know, not goofy manner and stuff like that. You're seeing the naps, you're seeing the sweat, you're seeing the pupils of the eye, you're seeing Steve Curry bite his mouth guard and stuff like that, and it looks almost identical to what you watched on TV. And the fact of the matter is like I said, what if there's a subscription service where NBA, NFL, WWE, all them sports catalogs, stuff like that, where they're like, let's go back in time and recreate that with virtual characters, where you're actually in the stands, VR, and you're able to look around. There's audiences all around you and stuff like that. Then you got, like, you know, let's say, like, you know, Steve Curry would have was trying to catch a ball from the rebound and lands in the audience, and you're seeing the realism of him landing in your lap, trying to catch the ball and then getting back on the court. Right. Or you could be watching a full-on 1999 Cowboys game, you know, or you can watch a WWE like WrestleMania event in first, at the front row with WWE models looking as realistic as they can be to what you see in real life, you know.
Muhammad Ali's first fight.
Right, yeah, exactly. Watching the old boxing matches, like let's like reformat the whole sports industry and stuff like that. It's like, you know, let's go like relive, like catalog the whole entire history, where it's now not just relived by watching just an old footage, but now it's actually redone. Like, imagine watching Hollywood movies in VR, where now, like, you know, watching the Star Wars Episode 3 match, you know, like, with Anakin and everything else, but now the whole entire scene is painted in VR and stuff, you know, and you're in there, you know, in the trenches of a stormtrooper fight and stuff like that.
Man.
You know?
To virtually experience a whole movie where, like, Obi-Wan Kenobi's talking to you and the fucking Millennium Falcon and Han Solo, bro, yeah,
instead of
man,
being a cameraman, you're the person witnessing.
Yes, you were actually in the shit.
Yes, sitting there witnessing a conversation in a trial hall, or whatever the fuck, you know, just experiencing everything on its own. And even though when a scene is done and stuff, you can really enjoy everything that the director wanted you to see, plus more. The director of photography was just like, you know, I like the way that this scene sits because this background is there and there. Now you can actually go in and see details of how the world is like in Star Wars, you know, how the world is like in any movie. Like you could be in the Matrix, and you know, you got all those pods and stuff like that. Imagine being in a VR scene where you're actually seeing each and every individual pod, you know?
Now, let's take it again a step further. Those old VHS tapes that you have of your childhood and your memories, there's technology to take the tape, scan the tape, and virtually replicate everything that was on that VHS tape or that recording, and then it makes it virtual and photorealistic in 3D. So now, right, you can actually relive your memories through pre-recorded tapes, and it replicates it virtually, and you're just sitting there, you're looking at like, oh shit, that's me as a kid, or oh shit, my parents. Like, dude, like, there's a whole thing that you can do with this thing virtually, man. And who knows if we're experiencing it in our lifetime or the next lifetime, but it is heading there eventually. It is getting there eventually, and whether how cautious we are or not, it is a black hole that we're gonna go see what's on the other side.
Definitely, man. And like I said, man, the VTuber world, man, they're on to something, but it's something to expect, you guys. You know, like, it's easy to get lost in this world. People are already getting lost in video games, so it's gonna be easy to get lost in the VR world. And this is something it is soon to come. You know, it might not come for us millennial generation, but it could be coming for the centennial generation and generations on beyond. But I'm personally excited about it, but I also know about its, you know, comings of the bad, you know. But it is what it is. There's a good and bad and everything else, and you just gotta get adjusted to, man. But other than that, those are the things that's coming off the top of my dome. But you know, I wouldn't say, like, to the people who has something to say about VTubers and stuff like that, accept that this is the reality. You can poke fun at that, it is, and stuff like that, but they're probably going to be revolutionary. They're pioneers of what's going on in the VR world. You know, people are emotionally invested into this world, and that's my topic on that.
Yeah, this new digital world, it's coming, and we're all going to get sucked in like the Digidestins back in season 1. For folks out there, let us know what you think about this virtual VTubers and also this virtual reality we're entering. It's a new era. This era is ushering in faster than expected. There are some byproducts of this pandemic and a virtual reality world where you're reliving memories, you're reliving people who have passed on, and you're living vicariously in different scenarios and different games and different real life historical events. It's coming, and you're interacting with virtual people who are not real. All that shit's coming. So let us know what you think about it. What kind of moments would you want to relive? Are you subscribed to a VTuber or not? And what are your expectations for virtual reality moving on forward? And to that, folks, that ends this episode.
Yeah, definitely, man. Personally, I wish I was a pioneer and was the person that was actually ushering in engineering of the VTuber world. All right. Like and comment, dislike if you ain't feeling the content. Download the discussion from SoundCloud. Big shout out to you for being a part of the crowd. Follow us on every popular social media platform in the description below. Orrion online, offline.
We appreciate the listen, y'all. Y'all be safe. Y'all be easy. Take care of yourselves. We're out.